This gives the opportunity for retailers to offer their customers a solution that may not have cameras, may not have the ability to go drive down to Walgreens and pick up at a locker because of their schedules. So.
All right, it's Rebecca from Safewise, and today I am talking with Larry from ZFLO Technologies, and they have developed a really innovative technology that retailers can use to keep your packages from getting stolen after they ship them out from their warehouse. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and about ZFLO Technologies and the ZakTrak?
Thank you, Rebecca. My name is Larry Fox, and I am the founder and CEO of ZFLO Technologies. And, it's simple enough for me in my background. I've been a serial entrepreneur all my life and, always trying to solve problems. And, years ago, and just like almost every American out there, at least half of them, I experienced package theft. And it was one of those things that I knew if I experienced it, other people experience it. And it was a problem that, with my my know-how and my ways of always wanting to tinker and engineer things, I set on a mission with my son to solve this problem for the whole entire United States. It actually started out as, an idea. We went online and just trying to find solutions that were out there. We tried everything. Like most Americans, everybody has, security systems, or, you have lock boxes on your doorstep, or you go to a locker out somewhere else and pick up your package and stuff. And, what really started ZFLO was we were looking for a solution that didn't put the burden on the consumer. If you look at retailers, they spend billions of dollars every year protecting products inside of a brick and mortar store. Those tags and stuff you see on a shirt, and when you walk through those doors, those big things that will alarm if you try to walk out with something. They spend a lot of research and energy in doing that. And they do it for their own protection, but they do it for the consumers too, because it helps keep prices low. It helps keep people honest in that sense. And, it doesn't treat you like a criminal. Researching that and actually doing a lot of research and getting a lot of information from like Safewise and things like that, we realize what people want and what works and what doesn't work. And not that the other solutions don't work, they're just really inconvenient. That's the big thing about them. Any kind of deterrence for package theft is, in my mind, is a thumbs up. Looking at what retailers are doing and then talking to retailers, they feel that a lot of them feel that, once the package is delivered, it's not their problem, but consumers also want the retailers to say, hey, kind of is your problem because I really haven't taken it yet. And so, you get this back and forth and back and forth. And so what we did was we went back and realized all of those, what they call the EAS systems, again, that protect stuff in brick and mortar, and they're effective. And they actually prevent up to 87% of would-be theft. While there's billions of dollars lost, there could be hundreds of billions possibly lost without those things. So what we simply did is we took that idea and took every component of that and put it into a shipping label, and now it's put onto a box. And so when it's delivered to your house and that box now is its own EAS system, has a built-in alarm, has a geofence around your porch, around your house, and it replicates the idea of theft deterrence. If a would-be theft would walk up and touch the box, it sounds like a chirp, an initial alarm like you see in the stores. And, that right there, based on, psychology and everything, 68% of people are going to drop that box and walk away. They're not going to want it because it's an opportunistic crime. They just in and out. But if they realize somebody's watching it, it's not going to deter them. If somebody is very adamant in taking it and they decide to run with it and go outside that predetermined geofence that may be around your doorstep or then the alarm goes off full blast. It's a 95 decibel alarm. It can be heard from about 800 to 1,000 feet away. And the great thing is at that point, it will email you, it'll text you, it can text your neighbors and do all sorts of things to really bring attention to that would-be thief. And, statistically and likely at that point, the people that did decide to steal it, about another 85% of those are going to drop it at that point. And therefore, your package is protected. Hopefully it's within, 20, 30 feet of your house because they realize they're not going to get away with it. And here we are.
That's really incredible. And I have seen some videos of the ZakTrak in action. It's pretty impressive. If they continue to run with the package, even though it's like screaming and stuff like that, and they throw it in their car of ill-gotten gain and go home, Will you still be able to track where your package eventually ends up? Is it like I lost my iPhone or something and I can see where it is? Or
Yes, it will still track. And to be honest, it's, what we don't want is somebody to, see that their package is stolen and it's 10 houses down. We don't want somebody to go knocking and banging on somebody's door and be like, you have my package.
Right.
But it will track. What we've actually been working with and we've been testing is, to a certain point, again, likely if somebody's going to steal it, the likelihood of them going to drop it and not deal with it is going to be usually within 100 feet of the house. So
right.
We'll be able to track it to a certain point. However, what we are working with is allowing the retailer to find its final location. So the consumer could say, hey, I saw my package left. Once it left a certain area, it's, there's a help button or whatever. Retailer's far aware of it. The retailer can contact the authorities and that sort of thing. And that way it helps them, realize where actually the final destination was.
Our latest report on Safewise showed that 83% of people who had a package stolen decided to go ahead and implement some security measures after their package got stolen, right? And so what we're trying to do is get people to do things before that happens. But again, there's only so much you can do as a consumer on your end. I think having this option for retailers to participate, covers the whole problem from beginning to end.
This being an opportunistic crime, which well aware you guys always, go over that and talk about that. And it's, if you can deter this type of crime for somewhere between 5 to 10 seconds, the likelihood of somebody not following through with it shoots way up. And so again, by bringing attention to what's going on, and to your point before, security systems are great, doorbell cameras are great, but unless you're monitoring it 24/7, it's a not a proactive approach. It's, hey, I've been recorded. I was reading some articles recently about some people that were a package theft ring that happened, I think it was in Colorado. And one of the guys they interviewed, he was like, yeah, lots of times I wave to the cameras. They're like, they don't care anymore because they know most people aren't watching them. And by the time it takes for them to grab the package and run out of the screen, somebody may get an alert of motion or something like that. It's going to take them a few seconds to check. They're already gone.
Right.
They don't know. And then, what do you do? You recorded somebody stealing your package. And, I've had that feeling before and it's not fun.
No. Your device is something that's still related to the package itself, which I think is super crucial, but it solves for all those extra issues. Tell me a little bit about why you're not, like the ZakTrak isn't a glitter bomb.
So you're right. The glitter bomb, and I've seen a lot recently, people are, and I know they're AI generated, but they're like these big powder puff ones where, the whole box blows up and it's blue and everything. And you're exactly what you said is right. That's considered a booby trap. And that is actually highly illegal. That's actually against federal law. And they're entertaining. A lot of those kind of things are actually staged when you see those. Right. They are, but it gets the point across. That would stop you. But the problem is that really throws a liability on the consumer. When you booby trap or you're something that could physically harm somebody like that. I've seen videos where I've had some very innovative ideas of bombs or packages exploding or making loud noise and people trip and fall backwards and they break their leg and then they end up suing the homeowner. And it's like,
right.
You don't want to do that. So it's ours is different. Again, it's got that visual deterrence on it. The idea that it's just going to stop it and it's nothing that's going to harm anybody. If you run off with the idea is you just know you're going to be tracked and you're going to bring attention to yourself with that thing going off. And again, if you start tearing it off, it knows it's being tampered with. So the alarm just fully goes off and it allows you to know, the consumer, hey, I'm being tampered with. Somebody's trying to steal the box right now, right here on your porch. We're trying to open your box. The entertainment purposes are still there for some of the videos we have and seeing people panic with them, but they're not elaborate, Oscar-winning things like the glitter bomb.
We've been talking to consumers for years, so we understand from the consumer side what's going on as far as what they're observing, their experiences with porch pirates, and what, as victims, what they're doing before and after a package gets stolen. But you have sort of the inside track on what this problem looks like to retailers, which is something that we haven't really been able to shine a light on before. And so again, talking about addressing the problem holistically, this is defining the problem holistically. So would you care to share a little bit of the interesting findings that you found, and maybe some of the concerns that retailers have expressed about like fraud considerations and things like that?
When you look at the background of the retailers, and when we tried to start this idea and was talking to consumers about it, they liked it. Nobody ever was, oh yeah, that'd be great. But it kind of just ended there. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to put one on, I'm going to order one. It was, so to be proactive, we went to the retailers, say, hey, we're going to offer this to consumers. And then retailers were like, well, no, hold on, this is interesting. And as we got into it, what a lot of retailers, even themselves, didn't realize let's use an example of a $100 item. If they ship that out and it gets stolen, they're going to replace that. Now, let's say they only had a 20%, profit margin on that. So to replace that item is going to cost them $80. And then, then on top of that, most retailers will expedite the shipping and so that you have more shipping costs. And then you have more labor costs just to pack it up, do all of these sort of, things in the background that they don't ever account for. And then some items, when they do, if they're higher value, depending on the process, if they do claims, if they have somebody investigate it to make sure, that may take somebody an hour, that may take somebody a day, it may take someone 3 days. So all of these costs add up. On average, we found out it ended up costing the retailer anywhere from $230 to $350 for that $100 package. And so that adds up quickly. So when you guys were doing your research, it's like, oh, we have like a $15 billion loss to consumers. Well, you at least times that by 2 because the retailers are out that money. And then there's more.
With all the communication that's happening around this device and addresses where I live is involved, how do you counter privacy concerns?
So it is a one-time use. We can recycle them. We do have a recycle program. If people want to send them back or go to your local store and drop them off, we'll get them back. We can reuse them. But once it's disarmed, the memory wipes out inside the device itself. It's completely blank. It's a dummy dead device. So there's nothing to be worried about as far as somebody hacking into our data. It doesn't work that way. It works on a background network and a newer technology of network that it doesn't. There's no data to be shared, that sort of thing. It just basically says I'm here. This is my location. So addresses and things like that. That's not a concern of ours because we don't have that data. This isn't the end all be all solution to package theft. I just think this is going to be a very good way of adding to that. And the great thing is because not everybody can install cameras on their homes, and this will work at apartment buildings and everything as well, which is really great. Some of this new technology that we're looking to do, not every apartment has you drop everything off in a big box in the front office. My niece still has at her apartments, they get delivered right there on her doormat, and she's had them stolen millions of times. And so if we can protect something sitting on a doormat, why not?
Thank you so much for talking to us today. And I look forward to seeing the ZFLO in action. I can't wait till I can add it to my next delivery. And we'll keep people posted in 2026 as this goes on. If you're interested in the ZakTrak in your area or you have questions about it, add those in the comments and we'll get back to you.